Hello, everyone. I want to talk about the passing of my father, which today, to me, it's still a mystery. It, there's kind of not debates, but I think we all see it in our own way. I have three sisters, and we each had our own individual relationships with our dad. I think I possibly was the closest because I think I was most similar to him. And so that's probably why I see it and I just have a different perspective, etc. about it. And my dad's passing for me was sudden, um, because I didn't know things in my dad's life had changed and not for the better. I knew he was losing weight again. He would leave me messages, normal messages, but just it would be he would call me when I was at work and say, I'll call you, don't call me. It's things like that, but it wasn't unusual. He had an odd way about him, per se. But I had no idea he was acting in a very, I wouldn't say schizophrenic, I'd say more like a paranoid type of way. I don't know. I didn't learn about this until after he was gone through my sister who had been taking care of him when he moved to California. And so I'll just lay it out there. My sister was down in Florida for work. My dad was in his apartment, normally on any given day to be out walking and socializing. And the apartment manager contacted my sister, said, "We haven't seen your dad today. It's just wondering if we can send the police into his apartment." My sister said yes. Police knocked on the door. Had the key open the door, they felt a huge backdraft of heat. Thought maybe something was amiss and called the fire department. They got in. I guess the apartment was 150 degrees. I am not able to pull the police report because it's been over 10 years, and in California, they only hold the records for a number of years. And so supposedly the apartment was 150 degrees. They had to open up all of the doors and windows, or the door and all the windows, to air it out. Found my dad. He was unclothed. He had sat on the edge of his bed and fell back, and they discovered his body like that. Come to find out, they had found his heat was all the way up. I guess he would close his apartment up because he was so cold. He would close his apartment up and he would turn his heat all the way as high as it would go, and then he rigged his gas stove so he could run his stove for heat as well. And so over time, um, he was they found carbon monoxide poisoning in his system. He didn't leave a note. He had his clothes out and etc., just as if he was going to head out for the day, like everything was set out like normal. But um, he passed away by himself. And so his father had passed away in the same manner, through running the family vehicle in the garage at my grandmother's home. And so we still don't have answers, and we probably never will. It's just one of those situations that I never really received closure. Um, and I don't know if I will until I see him again in heaven. Um, that we, my dad had talked about the very challenging childhood, um, things that he experienced that haunted him. He stated when his father committed suicide that that was one of the best days of his life. So um, you can imagine maybe just a slight bit of what he experienced. So um, I just want to say that if you've ever lost a family member to suicide or really didn't get answers regarding the why behind it all, I understand. My dad was my best friend. Um, he was very close to my children. And not having him around was the greatest loss I've ever experienced. So, was it a suicide? We don't know. It was deemed accidental, but I have no idea. It just one of those things that doesn't make sense. So I don't know. I I can't. I don't know. All I know is that I just hope people realize that you're not alone. Suicide is not the answer. This kind of passing was preventable. I wish he was still here today because he would love my husband. He would love my life. He'd go on the boat. We would hang out. Um, but anyways, that's what I wanted to say is you're not alone. Know that you are loved, and unfortunately, there's sometimes situations in which we will not have answers. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about today. I will label this video as suicide. I understand because I don't know what else to say, and maybe this will help reach people in a different manner. So, anyways, that's all I've got, and I'll be back.